So today was the last and final chapter of JINX. Now, JINX is definitely one of my favorite BL manhwas. I'm not ashamed to say that I do really enjoy JINX. Obviously, controversy aside, I do think that the plot and the idea of it all is very smart. And I love JINX overall. And today was its last chapter, so I want to do my thoughts and opinions. What my initial thought was when I first read the chapter was, is this it? Like, I was just, I don't know what else I expected, but I just expected more than whatever we got. It was a satisfying ending. I don't think the ending itself was bad. I feel like the time at which it ended was just kind of awkward. I feel like the ending felt rushed, extremely rushed, and it felt very sudden. I knew there was going to be a time skip because it would be kind of awkward if after all that happened between Kim Dan and Jae Kyung, Jae Kyung falling to his knees in the middle of the street. I feel like it would be weird if we just saw them like in a cab on the way home after that. Like, I feel like that would have been weird. So it's not the fact that there was a time skip that made it feel rushed. I just feel like so many things happened from like chapter 60 up to chapter 100. It all just kind of just wrapped up in like 3 chapters. What my main complaint is that we didn't really get to see how Jae Kyung and Kim Dan navigate their relationship as a couple in a new relationship who have had a lot of history and a really weird codependency in the past. And also an abusive dynamic. We didn't get to see how they kind of move through that. It's implied that, they're both not perfect and they're both trying their best to navigate their way through this new relationship as 2 people who have never loved someone. This is their first time. So I do like how they implied that, they're still figuring it out. But I feel like we could have been shown that. I feel like if we got like maybe like 10 more chapters, even 5 would have been good. 5 chapters of just them living their life as a couple so that we can see how they navigate their relationship would have been nice. I feel like there's just something missing. That's what I felt when I first read it. I'm like, there's something missing. Like, this just can't be it. Like, we got like 100 chapters of Kim Dan and Jae Kyung not being in a relationship. Them just having this weird relationship. And then we got 1 chapter of them actually being in a relationship. And half of the chapter was like on Granny's funeral, which honestly, not even to hate, I feel like Granny should have died. Granny should have been dead, bro. Like, I don't know why it took her 102 chapters to finally kick the bucket. I love you, girl, but she was taking too much screen time away from the main characters. Like, babe, you should have been died. When she popped up in that final chapter, I was like, bro, she's still alive. This bitch is still alive. Like, seriously? She should have been dead. So the chapter kind of just starts. Jae Kyung and Kim Dan are visiting Granny in the hospice, and she is literally on her deathbed. She looks withered. She looks like she's gonna die, because she is gonna die. She's terminally ill. As I said, she should have been dead, in my opinion. But anyways, and then we kind of get this scene where Kim Dan and Jae Kyung are kind of reminding us, or reminding themselves that, they haven't loved nor been loved before, so it's gonna be hard for them. We should have been shown that, not told that. They should have showed us in maybe a few more chapters how they navigate their life as a new couple who have previously been in a weird dynamic. We could have been shown that, but we were told that. I don't know why. This is just me being nitpicky. I'll get into like the positives and stuff in a bit. But yeah, so they kind of have this really cute moment where they hug. They go and spread Granny's ashes. It's really cute. All the gym people from Team Black kind of come to Granny's funeral, which I think is really cute. I really like the dynamic between Kim Dan and the people at Team Black. I feel like that's going to be something I really miss. And then obviously after that, what did it even cut to? It cuts to Jae Kyung. I think it was after the Granny scene. Jae Kyung finally talking to his old manager and saying that he's finally found, what's more important to him than winning and being champion, which is Kim Dan, which I think is really cute. I think it's nice that, he's finally found purpose in something a bit more healthy than just winning. But I do think we should have seen Kim Dan and Jae Kyung both go to intensive therapy, because clearly these are 2 people who have like deep wounds, especially Jae-kyung has some serious childhood trauma, and I feel like that also did contribute to, not saying this is an excuse by any means, but it's a contribution as to why he treats people like shit, basically. Like, it could be an explanation or a correlation. And I feel like that does definitely, yeah, it does connect to his childhood and being abused and being told he was worthless by his dad his whole life. That's why he feels the need to, like, be this macho man and prove himself constantly, which is really unnecessary. Yeah, a relationship can heal you in ways and it can get you out that mindset, but a relationship can only do so much. You do need to actually take yourself to therapy. So I feel like it would have been nice if we saw like a Jae-kyung therapy session. Even Kim Dan. I feel like more so Jae-kyung because he, I don't know what, but I feel like Kim Dan, his depression, I think, was kind of more situational because of the way he was living. And now he has his boyfriend, he's obviously mourning, but he'll get over it and everything will be fine. So I feel like, yeah, I definitely wish we saw Jae-kyung go to therapy. Cause, again, a relationship can only do so much to kind of heal you. You need to kind of heal yourself. Yeah, and then after that, it cuts to a scene of, I think it's Jae-kyung goes to his match. He goes to a match, and it kind of just shows a scene of him kicking everyone out of the, like, rooms, and, like, him kind of kissing on Kim Dan before his match to kind of give him some strength. And he confirms that his JINX is no longer. His JINX has been broken because I think, obviously, like, true love breaks a JINX or whatever. So he basically, one of the reporters asks him, do you have any JINX or rituals you do the night before a match? And he's like, no, I used to, but I don't do that anymore. Like, it was so cringe. But, like, yeah, he basically just confirmed that he no longer does the whole night before ritual thing, which I think is cute. I think I like that part. And I like the part where they were both wearing their, like, promise rings. I think that was really cute. Again, I don't hate the ending. These are just my critiques and what I think should have happened. But you know what else I thought was weird? When Kim Dan was like, oh yeah, we've both hurt each other a lot in the past. You mean he raped you? I don't know what you did to him. All you did to him was be a diligent worker. And what did he do to you? Traumatize you, abuse you, physically and sexually. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I feel like not enough people talk about how Kim Dan is the biggest bird. Like, he is such a bird brain. Like, I love him, but he just pisses me off sometimes. Like, he's just such a bird for Jae-kyung. Like, as much as you guys can be happy and cute, I hope you know that at one point, that man was your abuser. He was your abuser at one point. I hope you keep that in mind. So you tread lightly in this new relationship. Like, even like, I don't know, I think this was around like chapter 30 or 40, like the 30s or 40s, when he first like fell in love or developed whatever feelings he developed for Jae-kyung, which I think was Stockholm Syndrome. Cause he literally traumatized you. I think it was Stockholm Syndrome because he literally raped you until you passed out multiple times. And then you decide to develop feelings for this person. That's Stockholm Syndrome, bro. That can't be feelings. I think he is a bird. I think he needs to, like, get a little grip, because he pisses me off sometimes. It's like, you're literally older than him. You're pushing 30. You're pushing 30, and this is how you allow yourself to be treated. It's just kind of weird sometimes when I see him just letting the treatment of Jae-kyung just slide. And I don't know, I feel like his character's kind of infantilized a little bit because, he's the bottom, he's a frail bottom, and he's, all feminine and he's childlike. I just feel like his character's just quite infantilized for a 29-year-old man who's an ex-smoker with no family. I feel like he would be a bit more, like, rough in real life than what he actually is. So, I think overall, the development between the two characters was good. I liked how it was kind of, at first, they were just in this kind of contractual obligation of just like, you do what I want you to do and I pay you, whether you would like it or not. And he was complicit in that, and then Kim Dan started to kind of develop weird feelings and a weird attachment to the person that was low-key abusing him. And then those feelings kind of come to a halt. I don't even think his feelings ever left when he left for like the seaside town to, work in the hospital where his grandma was. I don't think his feelings ever left. I just think he kind of had to suppress them because of how badly he had been like hurt by Jae-kyung, and then Jae-kyung kind of realizing that and realizing what he's done, and kind of he comes out of his own ego to kind of realize that he's hurt this person so deeply and he needs to like sort his shit out and fix whatever went wrong. And I think at first it is kind of self-centered because the only reason he really goes to look for Kim Dan was because he needs to get his jinx under control and no one else can do it like he can. But then, we all know the real reason why when Jae-kyung reveals his true instincts when he gives Kim Dan a big hug when he thought he was gonna die in the sea. That was the scene that kind of revealed to us that, now Jae-kyung is starting to reciprocate the feelings for Kim Dan after literally, like, treating him like literal doo-doo on the floor, treating him like literal bum, throwing away the keys, not like the car keychain, throwing away, just, obviously he gets it back later, because we know that he just doesn't like to confess his own feelings or admit to himself that he has feelings for Kim Dan. But I liked the pacing. That's one thing I can give Minghwa. I really like the pacing and how it's not just like off the bat, they fall in love and everything's happy dandy. That's something that's why I couldn't like finish Our Sunny Days. It's just too much fluff. I don't need grape. I don't need essay. I don't need abuse. I just need something. As I said in my last video, I need something to be challenging the relationship. With Kim Dan and Jae-kyung, I like how it was nuanced because Jae-kyung is not in tune with his emotions. He's very distant from his real emotions. He tries to not be weak. And then Kim Dan has never loved anyone before. He's never had the time to worry about love. He's always worried about money and his grandma and all this and that. And those things are kind of making them like not realize what was going on when they were both developing whatever they developed for each other. But in Our Sunny Days, they just fell in love and that was it. I don't know, like I had to drop it after like, I don't know, a few chapters, but I think overall I really do like the progression, the dynamic between the two characters and how it evolves through the chapters, and I really do hope we get side stories, whether it's Potato and Heesung, whether it's I don't really care. I just want more from this JINX universe because I really do like it. Please let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know your opinions, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, whether you like the last chapter. Again, I do like it. Those are just my critiques. I think I like the way it ended. The ending was perfect, but it was just, for me, the pacing, and it felt just rushed and kind of very sudden. I felt like we should have got a bit more from, I think we should have got like a bit more slice of life from Jae-kyung and Kim Dan, just of how they navigate through their new relationship. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I love you guys. Bye.